Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
The product that I have pictured that I pulled out did not go into the threshold across the floor. It went into the vertical fascia surface of the doorstop.
Okay, so hold on there. I don't have any pictures of your stop face.
Well, it's a typical stop face.
Okay.
There's nothing unusual about it except there's a groove or a slot in the stop face, and that's not that unusual, is it?
Well, the item in your picture would require a T-slot. A very common preparation to have in the face of a stop we would call a kerf, and that's just a slot, like an 1/8 inch wide and then 1/4 inch deep, but it wouldn't have any profile to it.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if this product that I pulled out of the fascia of the stop was just kind of put in there. It's not really a good product for there, but it sat in there. Now, I bought a typical over-the-counter Home Depot, kerf threshold, and it's really meant to go into a groove that is, I believe, like 3/8 of an inch deep. Well, my groove is only is 3/16 of an inch deep. So none of those kerf products at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, True Value, they all stick out too far. That's why I noticed that that one product you carry, the Pemko Q103, has much, is meant to go into a much shallower slot. Whether it'll stay in there or not, that's why I was wondering about just getting, 1 or 2 inch sample or whatever, just to see if it'll stay. My only other option, I guess, is to go with a sticky back piece of crap threshold, or I have to mount one of these metal strips, you know what I'm referring to, on the actual side of the stop piece.
Well, the Q103, the 3/16 dimension that you see in the cross section, that's the dimension of the unit itself on that leg. You would really need a kerf 1/4 inch deep for that to safely fit into it. So I would expect that it would stick out a little bit. So having said that, you might need to look at something with a shorter reach, but 3/8 might be about all there is in terms of reach, but they should have a thinner material so that if it had to collapse a little bit more, it could. Yeah. Okay, so 3/16 by 1/8 inch. What's the Q107 look like? Yeah, what's the reach? That's got a 7/16 reach. It's the wrong direction. Well, 3/16, is the dimension of the kerf. I think if it's going to not nest fully in, it's going to be so by 30 thousandths, that sort of dimension. So I don't know that I'd worry about it too much.
Yeah, it might stick out a little bit. Have you run into this before where, this is a close to a 40-year-old door. And I'm not the original homeowner, so I don't know the history of this.
Absolutely. People call all the time with the weirdest of kerf dimensions. The real problem is when the kerf is about half of the depth, so it's like literally 1/8 of an inch, or what's even worse is when that 1/8 of an inch wide kerf is a 1/4 inch, and that's what really that's what makes trouble.
Well, so what do people end up doing? Do they use these metal strips and mount it on the opposing surface, on the wide part of the stop surface?
On the soffit, sure, like surface applied. That certainly has been done, but in the two instances that I've referred to, someone first has cut that barb off into to half, so only one barb goes into the kerf. Then in the 1/4 inch wide, I've literally told people, you've got to come up with some sort of long shim, 1/4 inch by 1/8 inch, and place it in there and then stick the rest in. And people have done that. It's awful.
Yeah. I mean, or they just bail out and they get the
yes.
back foam.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So what? I mean, yeah. So those are my options. All right. Well, I guess the problem that I had with the metal, the metal piece that you see at the big box stores, where it's a metal strip and the weather stripping's already in there, and you can mount it and then you can adjust it in or out a little bit, is that number one, it narrows the opening of the door by a 1/2 inch, the passageway, and
or more than that. Yes,
probably more right. Probably right. It sticks out a little bit, and now you're committed to that product in the future, which is something they love. So, yep. Okay. Well,
I believe that the Q103, if you've got a 3/16 deep kerf, that it is going to work so well. The only amount that it's not going to, I think you're really talking thousandths of an inch here. So I really don't believe it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And my door, and the other thing too is that I have a big gap. I can bring my door in. I can make the gap less, but right now I have a decent sized gap. So, so here's the other thing. I was trying to, when I called you, I was in the process of ordering that, what you had suggested, just a 36-inch piece. And so I went to check in, and it was asking me for a password, and I didn't see any, I haven't established myself as an account yet. So can I check out as a guest? I mean, how does that work? So I'm actually in checkout right now.
Corey did a quote for you on the 23rd, so you have a profile in the site. Your password is the same as your email.
Okay. All right. That's good. Yeah. I thought about, I have that quote from Corey, and I thought, man, we're talking $55, and if it doesn't work, so that made me think about just getting something real small. And, of course, I don't know what the postage is going to be on this $4 product. If it's $2, I can live with that. If I'm going to pay $10. What's that?
It ain't going to be $2. That's for sure. So it's, I mean, the problem is it's the box I got to put that in costs more than the material's worth.
Yeah. So if you think there's a pretty good chance it's going to work, then I'll just order the original product that I spoke to Corey about, and go from there.
Based on what I know, I would like your kerf to be a 1/16 of an inch deeper. The fact that your kerf depth is 0.1875, as is the leg of the kerf off the Q103 is at the same dimension. You can't put 10 pounds of sausage in a 10-pound bag. The bottom line, however, is I think you're again talking of thousandths of an inch, and in residential construction, there's no such tape measure. If you can play with the inside of the door, and I'm not sure how you would do that, but if you can play with that, then you're good. The weather stripping is not going to come out because it's not, it doesn't have room to breathe on the bottom of the curve. Based on what I know, I think this is a slam dunk.
Okay. Now, the other thing is the thickness of the stop. I think it's a typical thickness of the stop. I can do a quick measurement of it if that influences anything.
Well, it's got to be half inch.
Yeah, I'm talking about the fascia. You're right.
It's not fascia. It's the stop. Fascia is a term used when you have sliding doors, like in a closet of a bedroom, and the track above. When you have a trim piece in front of that track, we would call that a fascia. But the anatomy of the jam that you're referring to is the face, the stop face, or the face of the stop. That big box store you referred to earlier, if you screwed that down, we would call that the soffit. You would attach that to the soffit of the stop. But the face and the soffit are all collectively referred to as the stop. So not to give you more.
That's good. It's good. I got to use the right term when I'm talking. So I'm at 3/8, Richard.
Yeah, I mean, 3/8 is typical for residential construction. I mean, that Q103W, yeah, that's going to hang. Yeah, they don't give us a dimension on that, but it's going to be about flush. Would be my guess if I'm scaling this. Let me scale that. Where's my scale? Here it is. If I were to scale that, 3/8. Yeah, it's going to be almost flush. When I scale it, it's probably going to encroach into the space. About a 1/16 of an inch would be my guess when it's not compressed. When it's compressed, it's going to scooch in a little bit more, but at that point, it won't matter to you because you're not walking through the door.
Right. Okay. All right, Richard. Let me give it some thought. I appreciate all the information and all the technical support, and I'll take it from here.
Good luck, sir. Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.